Okay, welcome everybody. I'll get the screen share and then we'll go through a little bit of a presentation, go through this fairly quickly, have an opportunity for questions and answers. And as I said in the email, this is an opportunity. Hang on, I'm going to stop sharing and make sure that I do one other thing here. Apologize. We're going like this, we're going like this, and we're making sure, because I do have a video clip I'm going to be sharing. All right. Oh, come on. Yes, allow. There we go. Okay. So, as I was saying, if you are not participating in an island championship, this is an opportunity for you to gain a little bit of valuable information. On the line with us tonight are Milan Fedor and our newest level 4 candidate, Bobby Vu, who will maybe have some extra information to share if I don't. Okay. So these are the contact numbers for any of the various tournaments. And if there is anything that happens, then pick one of those numbers, and hopefully between myself, Milan, and Scott, we will be able to sort out any major issues at any of the island championships that are going on. These are the head referees, the AAA girls, Scott at Dover Bay, AAA girls, Scott Whiteley at Esquimalt, AA girls, Isaac Presser. I'll be there as well on the Friday, but Isaac will be the head guy on Saturday. A girls, that's me, and merci, Roger, for coming with me to Duncan tomorrow. AAA boys, Milan, and AA boys, Milan. Milan, you can correct us if you have a site person that is there. Bobby and Cam Kung are heading up there, and the single A boys tomorrow, Scott Speakman, and the junior girls, which are tomorrow, Isaac Presser. So thank you, all of you that are head referees, and basically the head referee deal with any protests or anything else. Report to me, Milan or Scott, if there's anything that happens that gets too heavy or heated, and we will sort it out. Hopefully we won't. We want everybody to have a good time. And that's the important thing at these tournaments, is that we are being paid. We are professional. We are ambassadors of the game. We are there to serve, not to police and go around and be the heavy. We want to be in the background and only intervene if necessary. Obviously, we are there as educators as well. We are there as the extension of the classroom. All of these are students and teachers, and we want to remember that BC School Sports is an extension of the classroom. And when we are there and when the players are there, they deserve the same treatment and experience as if they are in a high school classroom. So remember that, make sure it's fun, and we will talk a little bit about sanctioning in a bit. Net heights, they're the standard 243, 224. Measure the nets if you are a referee. Make sure measured at the center and try and get it as exact as possible. Isaac and anybody at Brentwood, remember it's 220. And last time I was up there for a junior girls, it was a little bit of a challenge. So spend a little extra time early to help get the nets correct. Okay. Fair play rules. This is the new one, is that the screening rule, and you saw a memo on that. We'll go over this first and get it out of the way. Players are forbidden to raise their hands above the head, and the first referee is permitted to caution or advise the team through the game captain if there is deliberate screening. So that's the new rule last year, and we've had good pickup on that. I think most teams understand it. There should be no problems, but if you do, then from the guidelines, it is stated that we are to be more zealous in taking care of teams' intention to create a screen and to prevent the team from the beginning of the game. So the abuse of the screening rule, just so you know, from the FIVB on down, there has been a directive that they want the tactical and what do you call it? Intentional screening to be gone. It's not fair play. The rules state you are not to prevent the opposing team from seeing the server. Just stop it right there. Yes, and the flight of the ball. But if you are intentionally preventing a team from seeing the server, that's not fair play. And that's where it comes in to us to educate, not police, not be the heavy. Poor Bobby got thrown into the lions at the college game the other day, where the head of high performance was there watching and directed him, hey, you got to deal with this. And it caused a bit of a ruckus, but I did watch some of the video this week. Looks like teams are settling down. So intentional screening, and I'll show you some videos, is not to be tolerated. And I can see Lawrence jumping up and down and dancing at his place because I know that's a big thing for him. Blow your whistle. Tell the players to separate. Advise the team captain. If they do not adjust as directed, then it says must call the screen. What we are suggesting is, and you'll see this in the video, perhaps a delay warning, because it's not very sportsmanlike to do that if they are refusing to do that. And yes, you can, if the criteria are met, low and over top, and you can exaggerate it and say, no, that's low and over top, I'm calling a screen. They'll get the message pretty quickly. And but noticing the teams, since I sent out this memo, I haven't seen any issues, except interestingly enough, single A boys North Islands. We did have a couple of teams that we actually had to tell them that they couldn't do it anymore. So if you're involved in the single A boys in Nanaimo, be aware of that. And hopefully we educated them. All right, we are going to show you a video. So let's hit the play button. First official glances and identifies the team. If they don't separate when asked, then you could call a delay sanction. Here's the scenario. Scenario number one. They are, look at them. They're all bunched up there. Number 5 is supposed to be in, interesting enough, position 5. They're all in front of the 3-meter line, and they're all lined up to tactically screen. Okay, that is illegal or not supposed to happen. And notice that then they break apart. Scenario 2, moving the group. So look at this. The server's going, hey, everybody, move to the left, move to the left, move to the left. Clearly a violation. They're not allowed to do that. That should be warned or break apart. And if they do it again, a delay sanction is probably the way we'll go. Okay. Third scenario, they're looking back. Hey, are we lining up properly? So look at that libero. Why is he over there? He doesn't have to be over there. He's got to run all the way to from position 2 to position 5. This is what we want. Back row players switching, not a problem. Back row players switching. And then there they are, perfectly spaced. Okay, so again, on that scenario, we have those scenarios, and if you see people doing that, let's educate them. Let's get them to break apart, talk about it in the captain's meeting ahead of time, and hopefully this will be done. As I said, in FIVB, it's not a thing. They don't permit the screen. The United States Volleyball, they don't permit the screen at all. Very, very strict. And we got away from it a little bit here because people were being legalistic about it, saying that, well, they can see the flight of the ball, therefore you can't call a screen. Okay, maybe we're not going to call a screen, but a delay sanction will be another tool that Volleyball Canada has directed us that we can use, and they'll get the message. Like I said, I haven't seen any problem. We had to do a little bit at the single A boys. Milan up in at the AAA boys, AA boys, maybe there'll be a couple of teams that are doing it. But I was at the North Island AA boys. Nobody was doing it to any degree. Okay, so on with the next thing. The Volleyball Canada rules are in effect. Game ball is the molten. At the junior, if they use a Bodden, that's okay. Team rosters, you are allowed 15 players. If somebody comes with 18 players, not a problem. Not a problem. Just 15 players have to be identified on the roster. They said, do you have to change the players that aren't playing in the case where somebody shows up with 18 players? And the answer is let them just go celebrate with their team. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't make a big deal out about a non-playing libero covering or not covering. Let them have fun with their team. But again, it's the responsibility to make sure only the 15 players get into the game. And yes, players must be in uniform at the coin toss and throughout the warm-up. And yes, BC School Sports says the uniforms must match and they must have numbers on the front and the back, and the shorts must match. What happens if the shorts don't match? You say, Walmart's down the road, you've got one match, fix it. I've never had a problem at Island Championships at the North Islands. We had to do that where one team showed up with random shorts and they said, oh, we didn't know. And I said, I'm a basketball coach. And I said, oh, interesting. What's the rule in basketball? Oh, we wouldn't be allowed to play. Then why are we having this discussion? There's little sympathy for teams that say they don't have any money, but yet all their basketball teams, soccer teams, and rugby teams have perfect uniforms. BC School Sports rules apply to volleyball as well as basketball, soccer, rugby, and anything else that they are playing. So uniforms must have numbers on the front and the back. Now, there is, if you're involved in the single A, there is a question whether Euclid boys will show up with only numbers on the back. I did talk to Brian. He is aware. They showed up with their ultimate Frisbee uniforms with no numbers. And Brian, you got to get that fixed. They're going to look at it. They will have it fixed by next year. He's back. He's in charge. He's the vice principal. He's aware. And so if Euclid shows up, note it on the score sheet, and probably BC School Sports will exempt them for this year. But by next year, they will have had a 1-year warning and they will have to have that fixed. Okay. You can play the ball off the roof. Any questions on that? No? Okay. Fair play rule, no yelling during the serve, direct distraction. It's not golf, it's not tennis. Quiet communication is allowed amongst your teams. It's when you get everybody on the bench and the players on the court all screaming at the top of their lungs, "Stopper!" Then at that point, we have to call them over and go through the sanction scale. Warning, yellow card for unsportsmanlike, etc. And again, I think since this rule has come in over a couple of years, people have understood it and they're doing okay. 2 libero rule. Remember, you are allowed 2 liberos in high school. In club, you're only allowed 1 libero, but they've opened it up. So the libero has to have a different dominant color, and they must be specified on the lineup card at the beginning of each set. Point of importance. If a coach accidentally turns in a lineup and they have forgotten to put their libero on, and you are the R2, you go to that coach and you say to that coach, "Coach, did you forget to put your libero on?" "Oh, thank you very much." Save them, educate them, help them out. And we don't want to cause any problems. Just make sure they have that opportunity. Non-playing liberos must cover normally, but BC School Sports has said, don't worry about it. If they're not covered, let them celebrate with their team. It's up to them to make sure the correct liberos get on the court. Liberos must maintain the same number throughout the entire match. I haven't come across this, but maybe you have, where a team has 1 libero jersey that they are sharing. Let me break this down for you. If Joe Smith is number 8 in set 1, Joe Smith must be number 8 in set 2. And so that means he wears libero number 8, and where's player number 8 in set 2. That's okay. But if they only have one libero jersey, number 8, then whoever they give that to in set 1 needs to be that same person in set 2. Now, that can change match to match, but in the case of a libero sharing team with one libero jersey, they are allowed to, but make sure they get the correct number adjusted on their score sheet. I see that a few people have made some comments. I'll get to the questions at the end. I apologize. I'm just going to keep going through. And Bobby, if you can keep track of that and summarize the questions at the end. All right. And libero redesignation, etc., from set to set, including injury protocol. 12 sub rule is in effect. That means unlimited in a position to up to 12 subs. We, I think, have gotten through that. Last year, we had one team that thought 14 was okay, subs. And no. That's your 10th sub. You have 2 more. And they thought unlimited meant unlimited, but it's unlimited within a position to a maximum of 12. Make sure your scorekeeper knows to tell you when they get to 9 or 10, and teams can go back onto the court after the timeout in between sets. They don't have to wait for permission. Also on the side change, just point of clarification, I've seen a few people do this. On the side change, they don't have to go to the end line. So I see some referees still pointing and making them line up on the end line. Just let them go. Volleyball Canada does that at high performance, right, Bobby? Milan, you just go. Change the sides in the third set. Just go. You don't have to do a formal lineup, march around. Just go. If they forget that and they go to the end line, just, don't make a big deal out of it. But teams don't have to go to the end line at the end of the set. Sanctioning. This is a point that has been brought up again and again. We've been under sanctioning or not having the courage to use the sanction scale. Yes, if you are a student and a teacher is a coach, that can be intimidating, but their bad behavior is no excuse, and you are the person in authority as the referee, even if you're a grade 11 student, and you have the authority to warn a coach, give a card to a coach, in an extreme situation, expel or disqualify a player or a coach. Okay. Now we do that not with emotion, but with professionalism, and it's not personal. You have earned a card or a warning through your actions. It's not personal, but you are getting warned. So the first stage is the verbal warning. And it's in the guidelines. They use a comment about how a referee should use their personality and their skills to control a match so that they don't get up to the sanction scale where penalties are needed. So if you can tweet enough with a little wave of the finger, somebody bangs a ball, kicks a ball, tweet, that should be it. If it's enough's enough, I'm going to draw the line. Captain, come up here. No more. You are not to question the ball handling. Your coach cannot make gestures or dance around. So give the verbal warning. Make it clear. This is for your team. Next will be a yellow card. The official warning is to call the captain or the player on the court. If it's a player in the bench or the coach, then the captain. And you say this is a yellow card or a warning for unsportsmanlike conduct. And the sanction scale at this point has been reached, and next will be penalties. Once you've given a yellow card, you could give a yellow delay, but the next card has to be red for penalty unless you're giving a yellow delay. Penalty, call the captain or player on the court, and a red card and a point are awarded. Captain or player number 15, this is a penalty for rude conduct or repeated unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever wording you choose, and then it gets recorded on the score sheet. Expulsion, hopefully we won't have to deal with, but yellow and card together. And the player substituted must leave the playing area. If it's a coach, they have to leave the playing area, the gym. And technically, they can return after the next set. And disqualification for aggression, a physical altercation, then both yellow and red separately, and they're gone for the match. Delay sanctions, don't be afraid to do this. Improper request. A late sub waved off without delay. I'm shortening this. You can go through the guidelines of the rule book and look it all up. Asking for an extra timeout, and this is an important distinction. You put an X through the box on the score sheet. If they're using the BC School sports score sheet, there is a box for improper requests. All you do is put an X through it, and all that is you don't need to write in the comments. You don't need to put an explanation. Just put an X. Get on with the game. And then if you're an R2, communicate with the coach. Hey, that's a warning, coach. You got to make sure that sub is up there. Next time it'll be a yellow card for delay. Somebody let Chloe in. She's in the waiting room. Late libero switch. Okay, nobody's going to do that. Hang on. Late libero switch. And at the end of the rally, you call the captain over. You've authorized serve. And then at the end, the delay at the wristwatch if they do it a second time. Okay. And then a delay penalty, a red card at the wristwatch, and a point is awarded. Okay, just to comment on ball handling so that we're all on the same page. Let the balls fly, but call the must calls. Ball staying on the team side and going in the direction intended, you can be lenient. Balls crossing the net must be given more attention, probably called a little tighter. Double hits across the net, even if the rules change, will be called. Egregious double contacts. You see two motions. Large amounts of spin, ball going not where the person intended it, call it. It's a must call. Catches, anything behind the head, a shot put, change in direction, long duration must be looked at very carefully and should be called, particularly catches that are behind the head or shot puts that are not well presented to the defense. Okay, that ends it. We will go to questions and answers at this point and go back to the questions and answers. Okay. Okay, remarks section, team A, school name, uniform. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mark. So most of the questions are regarding liberos. So yes, teams can have two liberos in each set. The two liberos are wearing distinct different color jerseys from the team. You can replace libero by libero or any other player. So only one libero can be in a set or on a floor at the time. I don't know if I missed anything else.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby, for jumping in and doing that. And can two liberos be on at the same time? No. Yeah. Yeah, they have not gone that far. All right. Thank you, Milan.
And the two liberos, hey, Mark, so the two liberos, they were asking if they have to wear different jerseys. So obviously the libero jerseys should be matching between the two liberos with the different numbers, obviously, and distinctive different color from the team.
Yeah. Okay. So the question would be, let's say the dominant. I think I'm getting where people are going on that question. the dominant jersey is black, and you have one person wearing a libero jersey that's white and one person that's wearing a libero jersey that's red. And BC School Sports has been very generous in that. Technically, they should be both white or both red. But as far as BC School Sports goes,
Sorry,
they can be different. They can be different from each other. Bobby has added in.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, okay.
So the libero jerseys can wear a totally different jersey, and they can be different from each other, including the shorts. So they do not have to be the same.
Okay, so there you go. That's settled. Okay.
Can I quickly ask you a question?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So if the school don't have distinguished colored uniforms, what is the second best thing? Can they wear like a t-shirt with the school logo, which is different color than the uniform, and have like a number with the stick, the tape or something like that? Would that be acceptable?
The libero jersey is very generous in terms of what you can do. You could go get a Gildan t-shirt at a Walmart and you can put a number on it. Technically, it should be printed, but if somebody goes out and they get a black Gildan t-shirt and they put a number on it, then for the purposes of BC School Sports, that would most likely be allowed. Again, note anything like that on the score sheet, and before they get to BC championships, that would have to be adjudicated. But there is generous allowance in what a libero jersey has to do. And, Bobby has said this to me over and over again when we're in the gym. It's not that difficult. Just go to Walmart, buy a plain colored t-shirt, put a number on it. Bill Sood could get a number on it in a couple of days. Problem solved. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but at this point of the season, I think most teams have dealt with that, and it will be okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Mark, I have a question about playing off of the ceiling.
Okay.
So there was a situation at Islands where there was a pipe connected to the side wall, and the ball was traveling sideways, so it was not going up towards the ceiling. The ball was going sideways, and it hit that pipe, and the boys played off of it, but I called it out. There was a controversial moment. Would you say that pipe is included as a ceiling and I should have let the play go? Or what would be the guidance on that case? Should I replay?
Milan, are you familiar with this? This sounds like your area. Thanks, Tassie. That's a good question. And again, those things should be sorted out before game one. This basketball hoop is in, this pipe is out, or this pipe is play on. And those things should be determined before the start of the tournament. So if there are any gyms like that, determine it. Normally, the rule of thumb is if it's attached to the wall, it's out. If it's attached to the ceiling like a basketball hoop, then it's play on. Ultimately, anything has to be over the playing area before it's considered play on. And in random discussions like that, then there you go. Okay, this is in the Esther's clear. Speak, Esther. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's in the Isfeld gym, and the pipe is connected in quite a few different directions, so it's not really just the wall or just the ceiling. So it is a little confusing, but it is well back from the playing area. It's close to the wall. So it is a bit of a confusing situation there.
Yeah, if it's back from the playing area and it's attached to the wall, then it should be out. But that I defer to Milan, Lawrence, and Jake, if he's around, to make that decision in that gym with Esther's guidance as a teacher in that gym. And whatever you decide, that's what you go with for that tournament. Milan, are you familiar with this situation?
No, not particular, but it doesn't matter because we're playing at Vanier on Highland, so
Vanier and Island. So we don't
Oh,
need to
this
worry
was
about
this was
it till
Junior
next year.
Boys. This was Junior Boys Islands that I
Yeah.
just hosted.
Yeah, exactly. So in that case,
Well, just with
probably
all,
call it, my assumption is from what you said, based on where this pipe is, and Esther, you can correct me. I've been in the Isfeld gym, but I can't remember it. My instincts are that probably should be out if it's far
yeah.
enough away from the playing area.
It is confusing because the pipe goes sort of a lot of different areas in the ceiling. So there are
Yeah.
areas of the pipe that would definitely be in the above the playing area and be in. So it is a confusing situation.
My
Okay.
question, Mark, regardless, I think it matters because I'm probably going to referee there again sometime. But
Yeah.
if in that case, in that moment, I just need a guidance. We didn't discuss what was in, what was out. So I made a call based on what I thought it would be out. That was a very controversial call. Do you think I should have stuck to what I believed that it was out, or because it was very controversial, should I had called the reserve and then clarify
let's
the
say it's okay. Well, principle number one, decide that at the beginning of a tournament. Talk to the head referee.
Now I
go
know.
through
Yeah.
the gym and do that. Principle number two, in that situation, you make your best call. If you decide, okay, hang on, we're going to go with reserve because we didn't talk about that in the captain's meeting or at the beginning of the tournament, but and this is my advice, you get caught in that situation, you're busy, you forget about looking at that, and you're in that situation, make your call and then reserve. We didn't go over it. From this point forward, that is going to be called out.
Okay.
I accept what you did, and but it sounds like Milan, Lawrence, Jake, Esther, and yourself figure out what the home rule will be in the Isfeld gym and make sure any teams that go there know that's the rule, and any referee will abide by that for going forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about when those balls go through the basketball hoop on the wall, or like on the ceiling? Is that acceptable?
As long as it doesn't stop, it should be
Okay, but
fine, I think.
it's momentarily stopped, then that's no go then?
Generally, if you can determine that it doesn't touch if it crosses over the net, if it doesn't touch anything we've been allowing play on, if in doubt, call it out. If you think it touched something or you lost sight of it, or it might have hit something and it's indeterminate, then you can call that out. But if you can determine it didn't touch anything in the ceiling while crossing over, then err on the side of play on.
Okay.
Mark, I think she meant if you know how the basketball nets go up to the ceiling at DCS, I think she meant if it goes through a net up there.
Yeah, if it's going, oh, I see. If it goes, you score 3 points on the basketball before it comes back down. If it stays on the same side, the strangest rule is it's play on.
Okay, thank
It
you.
hits the basketball hoop, bounce between the basketball hoop and the ceiling, goes through the net, doesn't come to rest, comes down. As weird as it sounds, folks, play on. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Mark.
All
One
right.
of the you got me.
I'm just going to at this point stop the recording, and then we'll continue with questions.